Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube video, and today we'll be painting 5 beautiful loose flowers using watercolors. So before we start, let's understand what all materials you will need. So I'll be using an A4 sheet of watercolor paper, which is 300 GSM cold press and 100% cotton from Kiyome. And then next I will be using watercolors from the same brand. I've poured all my colors on my palette, and I'll be using an extra palette to mix all of my colors over here. Next, let's talk about the brushes. Here I'll be using very few brushes, few flat brushes, few round brushes, and one rigger brush to paint all of my 5 flowers. So you don't need a lot of brushes if you have these 1 or 2 flat brush and 2 round brush. That's all you will need. Again, for more detailed description about the materials and everything, do check the description box so that you get an idea about the products as well as the link of those. Then I will use a pencil, a jar of water, and lastly a tissue paper. Now let's start with painting one by one flowers. So the first one we will be painting is the cornflower. You see, I'll use this reference and we will study the basic shape of the flower. It is a dome at the top, and then they have connecting petals. So we will start with a rough sketch. Now remember to use a very light hand on your pencil so that the pencil mark doesn't show up once the painting is done. So we will keep that reference with us and we will use that and draw 3 flowers. Remember, we are using this reference just for us to understand the basic shape of the flowers. Rest all we will be using our own style and our own fun to paint them. It doesn't have to be the exact same. We are just using that as an inspiration. We are not copying anything. Alright, so I just drew 3 flowers of different size and in different direction. Now let's prepare our color. So I'll be using mostly crimson lake, a little bit of vermilion, and I'll mixing those 2 colors together and we will get a beautiful pinkish orange color together. So I'll use that color again. Other than that, I'll be using carmine and a little bit of orange in few of the petals. Remember, we will be changing the value and the color of each petal so that we get a different look and different dimension on the flowers. Right, so before we start, let's first paint the top of the flower with a light value of burnt sienna, and I will drop a little bit of darker value just at the bottom. Once that is done, we will start painting the petal one by one. So I'll be using a flat brush. I will hold the brush at almost 90-degree angle to get a thin start, and then we will make the center of the petal a little bit fatter and then end it with a thinner stroke. So that's all you have to repeat, and you need to keep on changing the colors of each petal and the values of each color. That's all you need to keep in mind when you are painting the flower. Once we have applied the first layer of the petals, I'll let it dry. While that is drying, let's paint the stem and the leaves of the flower. So I'll be mixing a little bit of cobalt blue to my green and create a little darker value, and we will paint the stem of the flower with using that color. And for the leaves, I will add a little bit of lemon yellow to my sap green to make it a little lighter, and we will paint the leaves using that color. Once everything is dry, let's add one more layer to each element of our flowers. So I just mixed a little bit of blue to my green to make it darker, and I added few strokes on the leaves. Same way, I am adding a little bit of tiny little strokes on the cone of the flower using my smallest brush. And that's how we are done with the first flower. Now let's move on to the second one. And this time we will be painting the snowdrop flower. They are beautiful white flower. Now I specifically selected this color because I wanted you to know how you can paint the white petals. So the trick is very easy. We will mix our ultramarine blue and burnt sienna together, and we will get a very light value of gray, and we will add lots and lots of water to make it even more lighter, and we will use that dull gray color to paint the petals so that it is a little bit different from the paper which we are using. Okay, as always we will start with the basic shape of the flower by sketching it, and then we will start with painting the petals using the gray color which we have already mixed, that is the mix of ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. And by the end I will add a little drop of lemon yellow just on the top of the petal to just create a little bit of dimension. Next, let's paint the top of the flower with the lemon green color, that is a mix of sap green and lemon yellow, and we will paint the stems and the leaves using the same color. As always, I will add a little bit of different value of green in between to create a little bit of depth and dimension in the flower. And I'm so happy with how this has turned out. They are just looking so beautiful and delicate. Next, let's paint some red poppies. They are beautiful red color, so I'll be mixing the same color which we mixed for the first flower, that is the crimson red and the vermilion. And once I've mixed my colors, I will start with sketching the basic shape of the flower, and we will draw the stem, a little bird, and one more flower on the left. Like always, I will start with the lighter value of the color which we have mixed, and I will apply the first layer of that color on the flower using my round brush, and I will keep on changing a little bit of shade here and there. If you will see that the end where the flower meets the stem, it's always a little bit darker in poppies, so we will keep that in mind, and we will paint that part with a brown color, that is a darker brown color. You can either use sepia or you can add a little bit of black to your burnt sienna to create a darker brown color. Alright, so we will keep that small tiny details which is unique to the specific flowers, and we will paint that in our painting. And we will also paint the leaves, and you see that all you need to do is small lines and connect those lines with each other, and that is the basic shape of this flower. Once the first layer of the painting is dried, I will add a darker value of the same color on the flower, and same way I will add few veins using my rigger brush on the leaves. Lastly, I will add a drop of darker value just at the center where the flower is mating the stem, and here you go, we are done painting our third flower. Next up, we will be painting a beautiful dogwood rose. You see, it's a basic 5-petal flower which has a beautiful center. So we will just draw 3 circles, and this first one would be the main flower which would be larger in size, and connecting to that we will draw 2 more flowers. So I will just draw the circle as my reference, and rest all will be doing it with our brush, and along the 3 flowers we will draw a few leaves. Now I'll be starting with the flat brush, but then once I started painting the petal, I wasn't that comfortable using this flat brush, so I instantly switched to my round brush size 6 or 8. So you know, it all depends on what you are comfortable using. So if I'm comfortable using a round brush, I'll use that, but if you are comfortable using the flat brush or angular brush, go for it. as long as you are getting the result which you want, you can use any material which you are comfortable using. So to know that which you will be comfortable, you need to experiment. So definitely experiment and try different brushes, try different strokes, and see with which brush you are getting the best and similar looking strokes. Okay, so always never, get hesitated to experiment. The more you experiment, the more you learn. Okay, so I just painted all the three flowers with a vermilion color and a mix of little bit of vermilion and yellow. Then I'm painting the leaves using the lemon green color, that is a mix of sap green and lemon yellow. Once the flowers are dried, I will draw the center. So I will switch to my 0 size round brush and I will draw tiny little dots using the burnt sienna, and I will draw the center with that, and I will add one more layer of lighter vermilion orange on the flowers to create a little bit of depth in our flower. And we are done. They are looking gorgeous, I know, right? So we are done with the fourth flower. Now lastly, let's paint a beautiful lavender. So first, let's paint a lavender color. So we will be mixing a cobalt blue with our vermilion red, and I will mix those two colors to get my beautiful purple shade. So all you need to do is mix your blue and red together to get the purple, and these are one of the most easiest one to paint. So I'll be using different value of the same color which we have mixed, that is the purple color, and I will just create tiny little dots using the belly of my brush to paint that. And you see that the strokes which are at the bottom would be thicker, and as you go towards the top, the dots will get a little smaller in size. So just keep that one thing in mind when you are painting the lavender flower, and then you will be done painting them. So once that is done, I will draw the center using the same lemon green color, and I will repeat the same step for the second flower as well. I hope you had a lot of fun, learning and experimenting with different flowers and different colors. So I'm really looking forward to see all of your beautiful paintings and beautiful flowers. So if you post and if you watch this video, then do post it on Instagram and do tag us. I will link all my social media in the description box below, so definitely check it out, and do have a look at all of the materials which I have used. I will link that as well in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. Alright, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you really soon. Bye.